Hi, hello, my name is Cartoon Ray, and you are here for Class 13 of Cartoon Academy. Today, we are going to look at student work and do some review and some assessment of what's going on in this class. We are now officially more than halfway through what I had planned out to teach you and show you in this class. But let's just jump right in, shall we? The first thing I want to talk to you about today is, in this class, I've been assigning homework. And I just made these cheat sheets. I actually made this cheat sheet about 2 weeks ago, let's say 2 weeks ago. And today I just finished this new cheat sheet. You get a little bit of a zoom out there. And now, between these two cheat sheets, you have all of the homework assignments in a handy dandy location for you to go back and complete. And what I'll say at the end of this class is, this is class 13, and the class homework for class 13 is to try and redo an assignment that you've done before, but do it better and put in a little bit more effort and enthusiasm. And if you want to catch up on the homework, this is the perfect time to do it in the next week. If you just draw everything that's on these two sheets, you'll catch up on the homework and thereby earn your certificate for the end of this class. And I just want to show you, one student actually just took the cheat sheet and literally went through and copied everything that was on the cheat sheet and just did the assignments right on a single sheet. And that to me is satisfactory. That is enough to qualify. So it's okay to do that. You can just take the cheat sheet and fill it out like so. This is also effectively sort of my outline for this class so far. So when I think about this class in the future, I'll look back on these sheets as a quick way to refresh what I was thinking and why I was doing what I was doing in this class. So this is sort of like, this is, to me, it's a big accomplishment, because these are basically, this is what I have to show for this class. My sort of organized thinking on these classes. At some point, I think I'll make a comic book with a page per class and make it so that you can easily flip through the whole course and get all the lessons in a convenient printed context. So I just want to take a second to celebrate all of the people who have participated in this class. This was the first assignment, and these are people who just were willing to come with me and draw tons and tons of characters. And I just, Kirby. Kirby was a lot of them. Peppa Pig was a lot of them. You had 6 options to do it. And I was just so blown away by the people putting in the effort. Here's somebody who did all 6 characters. I was blown away by that. And the thing that I really wanted to communicate in that assignment was that the more you do, the better you get. Drawing is a practice where if you put in effort, if you are willing to do the work and practice, you will get more and more rewards out of it. The people who drew any given character 20 times, let's see if I can find one. To me, you can see an improvement over the course of the drawing. When I look at this one, I see a lot more uncertainty in the first drawings than I do in the last drawings. There's a certain amount of relaxed calmness that you get by doing something a lot. It's a little bit of a, I no longer care, I've kind of given up. But that giving up is actually a real asset. Stopping being so hard on yourself and saying, I'm just going to get it done and I don't care how it goes, is actually the same thing as creating a looseness or an ease in your work, which is really valuable. This is actually my cousin took the time to do the homework for this class. Thank you, Dylan. And it's really great to me to go through. This is all just from class 1, and these are assignments people did. And there's a whole range of quality. And just comparing Kirby's, you see that people are at different places. To me, wherever you are, whatever level of drawing you are at, just do more of it. That's the way forward. The way you get better at drawing is by drawing. The way you get better at drawing is not by being mean to yourself or saying, I can't do it. I'm not saying be unrealistic. Be real with where you are and what your skill level is. But just keep going, keep producing work, and produce a lot of work. It's the only way forward. I love these Peppa Pigs. This is one of my favorite pages, just because you get so much different. You can really see it's subtle differences in spacing and lines give you such different interpretations. Look at these different expressions on these Peppa Pigs. One of my favorite pages. Nice work, artist. And I love this. The reason I say draw a ton of the same characters is you do get better as you do it more. And also, if you just fill up a page with characters, you wind up with something awesome. I love this this page. Thank you for contributing it, student. So the point is draw. Don't listen to your inner critic. Don't listen to your outer critics. If someone tells you you can't draw, you should stop listening to that person. Even if that person is you. There's no point in... no one draws perfectly from the time they're born. Everyone who has ever drawn well started out as a bad, uncoordinated artist. It's just the way that it is. So patience and just allowing yourself to develop is kind of everything. Okay, I printed out just a boatload of homework, and I basically want to go through, I put it all in order of assignments. I basically just want to go through, and what I will say is there is no work in here that I consider bad work. So nothing in here am I intending to make any examples other than to say congratulations on doing the work, because doing the work, there's this whole thing about like, oh, everyone gets a trophy, everyone's a winner. Well, in my book, everyone here is a winner because you did effort. You did the work and you tried the work. And that is what is required to improve yourself. So in this first real homework assignment, actually, this is the second real homework assignment. In the second homework assignment, we are talking about depth. And putting things in front of and behind things. And the thing I want to just talk about here for a second is completing lines and making sure that things butt up into each other. So the single biggest difference that I would suggest to an artist starting out is whatever you're drawing, just complete your lines. So even if you wind up here with a circle that's not where you want it to go, I would say bring it around, keep going around and try and land that circle. I've never said that in class before, but a lot of people worry about, my circles aren't perfect. The thing you could do for a circle that I think serves you the best is if you wind up not lining up, continue that line at the same basic curve and find where it's going to land. Let's go here. Okay, just try and bring it around to be that circle. You might try to bring it around and overshoot and just try to bring it around again. Try, when you're doing circles, try to ultimately land it on top of that line. You might wind up doing a circle that, goes around, maybe goes inside, and then you want to kind of come around to try and imagine that the circle you're drawing is always not just 360 degrees, but that it actually continues on, maybe even up to another half of the circle around, so that you kind of imagine, okay, I've drawn it this far, now I'm going to continue, and you imagine that you're basically drawing like a key ring, that continues like so, and then what you're going to do is imagine that you're like binding that part, like you have infinite spool, and you're just creating a circle, off camera, that goes around and around. At the same time, making lines land, getting comfortable stopping. So if you have a circle and you need to butt another circle into it, the single best thing you can do is don't worry about if it's a perfect circle. Do worry about getting it back to that line and stopping. This improves work so much. If you just, you might draw the circle fast, and then as you approach where you want it to stop, slow down, get it to where it needs to be, and stop. It's all about, when we go fast, we may not be all that well in control of where we want it to go. And fast can be really useful in some cases, but the place where I want you to slow down is when you know you're coming to a stop. There's nothing, if I just wait and get there and lift up, I have a line that feels conclusive, as opposed to a line that feels like, oops, I went through, or oops, I didn't make it. Take your time, slow down, and get where you're going, and stop. Next homework. I just love seeing these busy full pages. This brings me so much delight. So thank you for this. These lines are great, really smooth, really continuous. And you can see in this homework where lines were continued that later you wouldn't include, like this one being finished here, this one having those lines overlapping. And this is a great way to learn. So when you're doing your rings, the idea that you might draw them, you might just draw two circles next to each other like that, so that when you trace the outer ring of each of those, it helps you to figure out, because part of what I want you to do when you're learning to draw is to be imagining the things that you're not seeing as you draw. So my final piece might look like this. My final drawing comes out this way, and whoops. All right, see, I'm not perfect. You all know I'm not perfect. It might come out looking that way. I'm always imagining the parts that are invisible and drawing out the full ring, the full circle, the full shapes. If it's Sonic the Hedgehog and you're drawing always Sonic. If you are Sonic the Hedgehog and you're drawing out all those shapes first, it's okay to learn this way. You can draw all those shapes on top of each other so that later on you can still imagine what's going on underneath your drawing. You're just choosing to not show those underneath lines. So that's a great practice in learning. Great drawings all around on this one. I love these shapes. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but I really enjoy it. Shading, we haven't talked about it all in this class, and we will. We're going to get there. It's a real challenge. Great work. I love seeing these things play out. On homework, it's always okay to just do more. Just, try it once. If you like it, great. Do it again. We started to get it into hands. I see, let's go back to steadiness of hand. This is kind of, we're lucky when we start out drawing, if we can do this. And so much of that is about pen grip. A lot of drawing is because it's kind of shaky on the paper. And what I suggest to you is plant your hand firmly on the paper. Right, I think about right here as being my anyone who's here. I'm so native Snow Bear. What's going on? Is he talking to his class or just us? I'm so confused. I'm talking to everybody, but I'm reviewing class homework right now. So it's I'm talking art principle, but I'm using the homework as a jumping off point. And what I'm saying right now is when you don't have grounding, it's really hard to get straight lines and or just consistent lines. And the thing that I would suggest to you is to find anchor points. The wrist is a really great one. So going there and kind of locking in part of your hand, even if you're going to do a straight line, finding some part of your hand that can rest on the paper is really huge. For me, I actually often use my pinky. You'll notice in a lot of my videos, I use my pinky to kind of stabilize everything and simplify the movement. It gives me something to base off of. Okay, we got to haul through some homework here. But I did just want to celebrate. It's a big pile of homework. There are so many wonderful artists contributing in this class. I love the size and scale of this drawing. Excellent. Fill a page with your whole drawing. I printed out a lot of this homework assignment. Okay, now we're on to the third assignment, which was self-portraits. And these I just wanted to celebrate some people who did really great work, and I love them. And I encourage self-portraiture from all people all the time, because it's a really great way to check in. If you're going to be an art student, draw a self-portrait, sketch it in the margins, take 20 minutes to do it, do a whole evening drawing a self-portrait, because it's something that you'll always come back to, and you'll be able to see the change over time. We'll do another self-portrait in this class, and hopefully people will get to compare their early self-portrait to their later self-portrait. We talked about hands. This is magnificent. Excellent work on this hand. I love the scale of this hand, and I almost want to say like they were kind of tracing their own hand, but I don't really think so, because when you trace your hand, you don't really wind up with, like this feels, well, maybe. I don't know. It's a very good hand. The trick with hands, and I sort of see this artist, like I love how much work this artist put into the page. They did a lot of drawing. The trick with hands, again and again, is to work on this shape first. Just get that little galaxy spiral like so, and we are off to the races, because you get that going that way, you get it going that way, and then you can complete a fist very quickly. It's really tough, and you can actually kind of take that same shape. I'll mirror it here without drawing any of those lines inside, and you wind up with a believable fist like so. Maybe do some lines on the back there. But the trick with hands to start, and there's a little bit of that in here. When I look at this drawing, I see that shape there. I want to see more of that shape. So always just start practicing. You can even just start by doing that one shape, the little galaxy swirl, and then just add on to it. Give yourself a thumbs up. Okay. Excellent work, a lot of variety in this page. Starting to get into the grip, which is really excellent. Putting something in the hand is a real challenge. Excellent work. Love this crossed finger. Love that. I don't know why I have that in my mind too. The fist being caught, or the punch being caught by another hand. I've drawn that a lot, but I never drew it for class. So you and I are on a similar level there. Similar frequency. Really great practice here. I was showing that in class. You can get away with a hand. I'm talking about doing it with the little galaxy swirls. You can get away with doing that, right? That's a little bit showing you like at an angle. You can also get away with just doing that basic shape 4 fingers, so that when you come up there, that's an acceptable way to draw a hand. Just getting comfortable drawing these sort of pill-shaped fingers that are bent over time, fingernails, knuckle lines like so. Really good. Love this. Love seeing the breakdown of the hand. Seems like you did a great job of finding the spacing and giving yourself the 4 areas to have fingers stretching out to start. Really nice using circles for knuckles there. Excellent work. Nice galaxy swirls. Nice pill shapes there. This artist by this DM, the curves are really nice. I really love the tendency of the fingers to get wider at the edges. I said that's a really great trick. What people struggle with a lot of the time is not having enough room for all the fingers, and it's an expressive and efficient thing to do to have wide fingertips and narrow finger bases. Because it makes it more expressive and makes it so that you can fit fingers onto the palm a little bit more easily. Okay, holding rings, right? We did this. This was one of the assignments. What was this? Number 4, I think. And the main thing there is getting used to, this is a perfect example of it, getting used to the curves, right? It's that same galaxy shape, but you're leaving that part out of it. This is kind of bringing it around, getting a little bit full picture there, combining the lesson of the joined rings and the hands. That's still the same overall galaxy type of shape. We just have to get used to, here as everywhere, we have to get used to what we're including in the drawing and what we're not including in the drawing. And that's a great practice on this one, having the fingers curve up. And so you're seeing the ring go under the pinky on this one versus over here where you're seeing the pinky come in the top of the hand. So now we're seeing the curve of the index finger on the other hand. Excellent work. Excellent work. Ever wonder why? Ever wonder why? I did a great bunch of homework, but I couldn't print it all out because the photos were a little bit challenging. That is one thing I will say that I saw in a bunch of different homework is if I can see the shadow of the phone, it makes it hard to print. Really good practice in general to work on not letting shadows into your work documentation. And the best way I can explain to do that is you want to have your light source never, let's see, can I, so if I come over here, what's happening when I do this is the light is getting blocked by the phone. I know that sounds obvious, but all you have to do is just change the angle so that the light is coming in more horizontal. So you almost think of it as cutting between your phone and your paper. Where did my next homework go? Okay, rings. These are a lot of fun. I really appreciate these sheets that people did with lots of the little spherically bellied characters. Excellent work on these, particularly creative interpretations. I really love how much inventiveness I see on this sheet. Same here, really excellent. We can see all of a sudden we're starting to have poses. With very few lines, we have these poses that tell us a lot about what's going on. This is a pretty expressive, and they're just standing still. I love that. Same here, more expression. And I just think this is an assignment where if you just only drew these guys for like hours straight, you would come out ahead. You would develop your skill in a really interesting way because you're all of a sudden doing things that are really expressive. I love this little guy. Looks like he's out of breath. Looks like he just ran a bunch. Really nice handstand, gleeful skipping. I just think these are so expressive so quickly. It's a lot like a stick figure, but it's much more useful to me to learn to draw with a sphere in the center. A+, great work. We got on to starting to draw full body characters, taking that same design of circles and arms and legs, and then fleshing them out, adding tubes, making the arms have a little bit more dimension, adding fingers and details onto the hands so that they aren't just simple circles, and adding clothing. We start to add, we do so much wireframe work, I guess I'll call it. And then what I want you to do overall is to start breaking up, this is where sketching comes in handy. You want to start by getting your basic shapes going. It might be, Can you see that well? Let me get a little bit of a better pencil for it and a little bit more of a background. You want to start with your basic shapes, and the great thing about sketching is it doesn't have to be perfect. You want to start with your basic shapes, and then realize that you don't owe anything to the thing that you originally drew. So when you start to build it out, you can use those to find the actual final shape of your character. And continue to build it out. So, you know, cuffs break those lines. You know, I broke up the original sticks that I used for those legs by making them thick, and then I break up the thickness by going there. I don't have to keep the shoe this shape. I can curve it down and then bring it back like that. But knowing that, I sort of like to think about it as this is where we get into the three-dimensionality of it all, because I want you to imagine that what you're really doing is drawing, you know, dimensional shapes and then changing them, almost sculpting them. I kind of want you to think about yourself as a little bit of a sculptor, but you're working inside of that 2D space. Great work. I love the integration of the hands grabbing something in this picture. Great work. You don't need to feel like the legs need to be continuous across. I think that you know, this drawing could benefit from the legs not needing to feel like they're a single continuous circuit. It's a great drawing still. Really love it. And it has that sense of roundness, which is great. Love this. Love the expression. Love that you took the model and applied it to a character you care about. Really valuable assignment, because what I want you to, at this point in the course, you know, I want you to be imagining everything you draw as a three-dimensional shape. We're only ever drawing in 2 dimensions, but, you know, just slight variations, and all of a sudden I can think about this as not just a flat trapezoid or rhombus, but as something where it's actually a square, and you know, it's kind of moving back in space. This gets into some of that perspective stuff, which we haven't directly talked about perspective, but it helps to think about, right? That's the fundamental thing I want you to get at, is the person looking, when I'm looking at your work, I'm not seeing what was going on in your mind. You know, if you share your work with somebody, they can't see the sketch that you did or how you were thinking about it, but you imply so much with how you draw things. You know, when we're drawing the rings, the hands holding the rings, I want you to imagine the things that you're not, even if you're not drawing the actual sketch underneath, I want you to imagine what's going on underneath. Always be thinking about, you know, when it's a circle, you don't have to draw the three-dimensional grid on it, but I want you to be imagining it. It's one of the nice things as you draw more, is you get the ability to have sort of a layer of thought going on, that you don't actually have to, you know, you can kind of project the things that you know to be true onto the page without having to actually draw them. Okay, class is officially running over right now, but I just want to get through the pile in appreciation of everyone. Great work. I like that this person, number one, I don't think you messed up, and I don't know if telling yourself that it's not that good is helpful, but I do appreciate you putting that, because I get that with a lot of homework, people will start the homework and say, "Oh, this didn't go well. I don't like it." You don't have to tell me that, and I really don't think you should tell yourself that. I think if you don't feel good about it, try to be patient with yourself. Try to be encouraging and give it another shot, and don't let it be that, you know, there has to be a way to appreciate the effort that you put into a drawing, even if you're not satisfied with the drawing after you're done. You have to be able to You know, so if you're going to write, it's not that good, I think you should also write, it's not that good, but I tried, or but it's a start. Because I think that just the, you know, self-criticism, I think it'll just stop you. And you have to give yourself some room to get back up and keep going. Great, I love it. I like that I can see the circle where you kept going and found it. You know, I do this trick a lot where the part of the circle I didn't draw that I had to fill out becomes shading. Really great. These are all awesome. Love that you included hair on this, starting to get that three-dimensional thing going. If you want an assignment for the break, get these other two heads that are missing in your drawing. Excellent work. We started to do some more independent character design, and I just think it's great when we're shaping out these heads. Then working on more unique head shapes that are not simply spherical and rotating them. Really excellent work here. One thing I look for when I'm doing this stuff is, are there things that I could map out to continue on? Like I can see her ear and her beret, the little hair clip. I can see it in the first two drawings, and then I wonder what's happened to the hair clip and the ear in this one. Just a little tip to, like, when you're rotating a head, like, just check to see if it's consistent. So if you chose to do this assignment again, I would say, you know, make sure those details. I really like this character quite a bit. It can be helpful when you're drawing these guys in this way to give yourself a frame like this. So in the first picture, if you draw your person like that, and let's give them cat ears, then when you start to rotate them, you know that you can line the eyes up and also get the features at the same height. This is really helpful for character design in general, is to give yourself some type of framework just to help keep yourself going and keep yourself on track a little bit. I drew it in class going down, so you know, that's a little bit on me, but that's just a tip that could be helpful for character design in general. Great work, really nice to see. Love seeing your layout here moving over to the finished pieces. Same thing here, nice work. Like the expressiveness of this character, like the eyebrows. Really great work. What a challenge to give your character spikes like this and then have to figure out how you're gonna show them coming over the head. I'd say the 3/4 angle is the hardest one, but you should feel accomplished. I don't do these classes every day. I do them Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'm taking next week off, so I'll be off for a week. Great character designs, really nice. I like that I can see how you planned these characters out, and then especially like here under the tutu, I can see how you visualized how the body was working before putting the clothes on top of it. That's great. Excellent, awesome pose, really nice work, good work on the hands. Excellent. Solid. I love, again, the fact that you can tell that the shape is under there. So much of being an artist is implying things, so we can guess the shape of her body underneath the gown. That's implied, and that's, you know, implication and suggestion that something is more complicated than it seems is a big part of work. Loved this sequence of drawings where we actually get to see the character. We start just with the pose. We start to add details, and we wind up with this finished depiction. Excellent work. Great work. I love seeing the under design work. I like that we're seeing the under structure and then drawing on top of it, so that if you drew this again, you wouldn't have to draw the under structure. You could just draw it over, but you'd know that it's there. And finally, this assignment with the flexing poses. All of this homework is awesome. I'm so happy everyone did so much work for it. And I just want to encourage everyone. This class is now 13 sessions through. We're halfway through. And that means we're in the home stretch, really. There's less work to do in the future than there is in the past. The next week is going to be a break. And so if you are, maybe if this is the first time you're ever tuning in, or if you've been watching and you haven't done homework, but you kind of want to participate, anyone who does 75% of the homework for this class is going to get a individual digital certificate from me that you can print out and hang on your wall. It's not going to get you a job. It's not going to be something you can sell for money, but it'll be meaningful because you did the work and I know you did the work, and it's me saying good job doing the work. You can go to my website, which is cartoonray.com/cartoon Academy. And on that page, there is a link to a Dropbox that has class resources, and it has this sheet and this sheet in it. The homework over the next week during the break is to redo one of the assignments. And catch up. So if you want to go through all of this homework, a lot of people have actually done all the assignments. But these were only just put in today, this catch-up sheet. So some people, I think, didn't know what the homework was specifically for certain classes. But you can do this homework and catch up. And then do the 13th assignment is to take one of these assignments and do it again and do it better and show yourself up. Make an improvement on your past work. And then draw your favorite character and turn that into. I've been so stoked and so honored with how much work people have done for this class, and it's really, it's an honor and it's inspiring. So thank you for doing it, and thank you for being a part of it.